Hey guys, welcome back. How are you? I hope you are good and doing well. So, in the last lecture, I give you an assignment which includes two tasks. Okay, so these are the tasks you can see here, the task number 5 and the 6. The first task is like display error messages below each required field in the job form. Okay, so in this lecture, we will solve this task and I will show you that how to approach this task. Okay, so first, let's click on the description of the tasks. Okay, because that is the best practice that I told you already, that whenever you get some task, go to its description first to for a better clarity to solve this. Okay, so in the description of this task, what I'm saying, that right now when you submit the empty job form, it is failing to create a new job due to validation error, but no error showing on the form. Need to display validation error messages on the form when user submit incorrect data or empty form, and display these error messages below each respective field. Okay, so for example, if you come here, okay, and if you click on the post new job, it will open the job form. Okay, and when you click on the post job, okay, you can see in the logs that it is rollbacking the transaction and the request sent to the post create action of the job company jobs controller. Okay, but we are not able to see any kind of error here. Okay, and that is not a good user experience. Why? Because whenever a user come to your application, it performs anything, and if he's not getting the desired result, because what is the desired result here, that when I submit the form, it should either create a job or it should let me know that what I'm doing wrong here, that's why my job is not being created into the database. Okay, so that's why we need to add some error messages here. Okay, and that is the task. Okay, so you can consider is like as the simplest task that you can get to create some form and display the error messages. Okay, but take it as a practice that how we can work with the real world projects in any company or at any freelancing project. Okay, so what we need to do here, that we need to display the error messages below each form, each field. Okay, so first approach, that if you want to display the error messages, then first you need to check the model. Okay, like for what attributes it already includes the validations. Okay, so let's go to the project directory, and here in the job model you can see that we have a lot of validations. So validation for the title, and the title is presence true, unique true. Okay, so these two validations will be applied on the title attribute of this job model. Okay, and the other validations are like description, job location, job type, applicable for salary range, total positions, presence true, so it must be present. Okay, and then inclusion validation for status attribute. Okay, so these are all already existing validation into the job model. Okay, but in some cases it might be possible that you do not have any kind of validation into your model. For example, let's say this job model, and some client assigned you the task that aid the validations in the job form. Okay, but you do not have any existing validation into the job model. Then there will be two approaches to solve that. First, you need to ask client that on what attribute we need the validation, or what are the required attributes for the job model. Okay, otherwise you can apply validation to all attributes. Okay, but the second way is not a good practice. Why? Because sometimes it might be possible that all attributes are not required. Some of the attributes can be empty as well. Okay, so that's why if there are no validation given, then first you need to ask to the client or the seniors or whoever given you the task, that do we need to add validation for all the attributes, or are there selected attributes. Okay, and you can also suggest that these are the attributes that I think of can be validated during the form submission. Okay, so this way you can do that. But right now we have the clearly mentioned validation here, like for what attributes we need the validation, so we can do that. Okay, and now let's add the validations for each below the each respective field into the form. Okay, so here you can see, you can come to the company jobs form. Okay, and this is the form, and here what we need to do, we need to display the error messages below each form, each field. So we need to write the validation rule below each field. Okay, so what we need to do here, we just need to add the rails tag, and then you can see what is the model name here. Model name is the job. Okay, so let's say job dot errors, job dot errors dot full messages 4. Okay, here you need to mention the 4. Why? Because we are adding validation messages for each respective field, so we need to mention the attribute here. Okay, so validation sorry, errors dot full message is for title here. Okay, so title, okay, and then dot each do, okay, and then message, and then close this tag, sorry, yeah, close this tag. And here what you need to do, that let's say p class danger, and then message. Okay, now let's try to submit with this single validation rule. Okay, that we able to see this or not. Okay, so what we can do here, just save this form, go to the browser, refresh the page. Okay, and now let's try to submit this post job. Okay, so you can see that we clicked on the button. Okay, and the request come here again, the transaction getting rollback, but we are not able to see the validation error message is here. Okay, there is a reason why, because the way we edit the validation error message. Okay, and in the jobs controller you can see that what we are doing, if job is saved, redirect to some path, otherwise render the new template. Okay, but by default it is sending the request as the turbo string. Okay, so to see the validation error messages, we either need to submit the form as the HTML, or we need to handle the error messages as the turbo string format. Okay, so first we will see that how we can send this form as HTML, and we can disable the turbo on this form submission. Okay, so here what you need to do, you just need to add a data attribute, that is data, and then turbo false. So when you do this data is turbo false, it means now your request no longer will be submitted as the turbo string. It will be submitted as the HTML. Okay, so save this and go to the browser, refresh the page. Okay, and when you click on the post job, you will see that it is showing the title can't be blank here. Okay, but and on the console it is sending the request as HTML, not as the turbo string. Okay, let me check here. The spelling is mistake. Sorry, text danger. Danger will not work only, so we need to make it text danger. Okay, so let's submit this form again. You will see that this validation mirror message is showing in the red color now. Okay, and the other ways, let's say if you don't want to change the turbo stream format. Okay, so what you need to do, that you can remove this data attribute. Okay, you can remove this data attribute, and in the jobs controller where you are rendering the new template, if the job is not saved, what you need to do here, that you need to add the status unprocessable entity. So status, and then unprocessable entity. Okay, just save this and now refresh the page again. Okay, and make some space to the terminal, click on the post new job. Okay, and now submit the empty form. Okay, so now you can see in the logs that the request is submitted as the turbo stream. Okay, but still we are able to see the error messages into the form. Okay, so these are the two approaches that you can use to display the error messages. Okay, now let's do this for all the attributes. So here you can see that in the form where we added this error messages like job.error.full message for title, you can do the same thing for, let's say, this description. Okay, and now let's try to submit it again, refresh the page, and here you will see title can't be playing, description can't be playing, and so on. Okay, and here you can see that we are already have some value for the job location and all that. So let's add validation rule for that as well. Okay, so what we can do is we can just copy it here, and here we can make it for, let's say, job title, sorry, job type. Okay, this is for job location, job location. Okay, and then other one is for applicable for applicable for. Okay, and then salary range, and then the other one is for total positions, okay, and the other one for status. Okay, so we added validation error messages below each field. Okay, now let's refresh the page, okay, and submit the empty form again. Okay, so you can see title can't be blank, description can't be blank, total positions can't be blank. Okay, but here we already have some selected values. So if you want to see the error message, because we already have the selected values, so in that case we will not be able to see the validation error messages. Okay, if you want to see the error messages, then you need to add some prompt to this select attributes. Okay, so here you can see this empty hash. Here what you can do, prompt select status. Okay, so when you refresh now, here you will see select status, and if you post the job now, you will see that status can't be blank and status is not a valid status. So you can see the error messages here. Why? Because prompt is not going to be submitted as the value. So if you want to prompt all these types, you can do the same thing here. Okay, for example, let's do prompt, and here what you can do, select salary range, okay, and here select applicable for, and here select job location, and here job type. Okay, save it and go to the browser, okay, and submit it again. Now you will see the error messages for all the fields. Okay, so title can't be blank, description can't be blank, job type can't be blank, and so on. Okay, so this is the way you can add, sorry, you can add validation error messages below each respective field of your job form. Okay, so this way we completed our first task. Okay, so this is how we can add the error messages. But here I showed you one thing which we did incorrectly. Okay, what we did here, you can see that we just added the validation error messages. Okay, but we forget to do one thing. That is what, we did not created the branch, new branch for our validation task purpose. Okay, so if you check out the branch, for example, let's say git status, you will see that we made changes into the two files, which is the jobs controller and the company jobs form. Okay, and if you check the branch, git branch main. Okay, but that is not the good way. As I already told you, that whenever you get some task, try to create a new branch and then get merged into it. Okay, however, this is the local project, but we need to keep our practice as a professional. Okay, so what we can do here, we can just check out all the files, for example, and you can use this git checkout dot. Okay, and when you do this, all the changes will go on. Okay, so you can see all the changes are gone from here, and same from the jobs controller as well. Okay, so now what we can do, we can check the branch, it is main, so we can create a new branch. So git branch minus b, sorry, git checkout minus b, and then feature, here add validation messages to job form. Okay, add validation messages to job form, and then let's try to undo all the thing. So if you do undo here and undo the form partial as well, so you will get all the changes again. Okay, if you are forget to undo, try to make, try to copy all the changed content in some untitled file or somewhere else, so that after checkout you can restore the changes. Okay, so save it, and now let's test whether we are getting again the correct data or not. So submit the form, empty form, you will see the error messages. That means our thing is working, or our task is working. So what we can do, git status, you get these two files changed. Okay, and now git add, we need all the files, so git add, and now let's make the git k. Okay, so git k you did, and you can see Let's try to see the changes that what you changed. Okay, so you changed this line. Okay, always make sure that you are just checking the file before committing or pushing. Okay, however, you can check it before adding the files as well. Okay, it depends upon you. Okay, so here you can see that all the changes we made are showing like that, and we need all these changes. So now what we can do, we can close the git k and we can make a commit. Git commit -m, and then edit job form validation messages. Okay, and now if you can check git k again, you will see that this is the commit that you already made here. Okay, so this commit has been made. Okay, and now you can push your changes to the branch. Okay, I'm not pushing it here, but you, if you wish, you can push changes to your branch, or after committing you just need to push whatever you made change and then create a PR, which we already see in the past lectures. Okay, that like how to push the changes and how to create pull request. Okay, so this is the lecture where we completed our first task. Okay, and you can find this issue link or task link within the description of the video as well. Okay, and in the next lecture we will work on this task. Okay, and along with that I will also discuss that how we can provide our suggestions to the clients, or our suggestions we can add to the description of the task. Okay, so, but for that you need to wait for the next lecture. Okay, so try this lecture, and thanks for watching this. We will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, stay safe.